It was wild. It was absolutely incredible.
I mean, there are little moments, aren't there? Always little inflection moments where you go, "Wow, okay, pinch me." But that's surely Willie John McBride, followed by the entire lobby of red, must have been one of those pinch me moments.
It was unbelievable. It was something like you see on a film, and I say this, and that's the only way I can describe it. You know, like in a Jerry Maguire friggin' show me the money sort of thing, and it was incredible. Like, you know, the buzz, and you know, could you ever have that again? I don't. You know, rugby is the only sort of sport you can probably have that where, you know, people are patting you on the back. You wouldn't get in football or anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't suppose you would, anyway. But it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And the police convoy then taking you to the stadium, you know, sirens going, and you just popping in your headphones, just thinking, just listen to my music, my motivational music. And so you're doing your own rehearsals in your mind of what you're going to do. And then it was weird, really, because we would go into the ground, and it wasn't like the modern stadiums where you go under, you know, like you drive under into the bowels of the stadium. And we pulled alongside. It was a bar, sea of red on the far side over there, and it was like, shit. And you knew there was freaking 30,000 Welsh people there, right? So you're like, geez. So we pulled up there alongside the stadium, and it was a quick dash out of the bus before all the supporters realised they were there, and they start running over. Oh, the Lions are over there, the team, and they're legging it over to the bus. The boys are grabbing their bags and legging it away. And it was mad. It was unreal. It was incredible.
Awesome. And then of course you top off the day by getting over the line. With your try, and also getting over the line with the win as well. Probably one of the most watched clips on YouTube, I suspect, that try.
Yeah, in my house for certain. Yeah, it's. I think my dad can tell you how many blades of grass are on the field. He's asked that many times. So yeah, look, yeah, it was a special moment. But we had actually planned that, and I referred to Graham Henry. He had picked up that Owen Finnegan was on the blind side. He was playing 6, and he's more than 8. He wasn't a very fast guy. He
was a lump, wasn't he?
Robust, hard man sort of thing. And he picked up and he said, "Look, he's on there. We'll exploit him as he's slow to get up." And it was right. Okay, we'll use Brian O'Driscoll coming back on a flash around on the blind side, the right hand channel, which is my channel. And then he'll get outside Finnegan because he's too quick for him. He'll get outside him. He can give it to Jason Robinson. He can draw in Joe Roth, give it to Dav. Dav scores. And lo and behold, the scrum went up the right way. Everything was there. It was a reverse. Yeah, Rob Howley went one way. I think Scott Cornell passed it to him. I think it was. And then he come down the blind side, bang. Jason Robinson take it. Textbook. Graham Henry and actually said that's what will happen. And with that, he gave it to me, and then I had to run in and to score the try. And I can remember just going in my mind, going, "Oh, I'm going to score! I'm going to score! I'm going to score! I'm going to score!" And then it was just dab it down, put it in, dab the ball down, and it was just wow, incredible! Just jumping up and just. You know, I loved celebrating. That's what I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to do was score tries. So it was incredible. Absolutely insane.
Brilliant. I've got goosebumps listening to that. At the risk of putting a downer on it, what the hell happened then?
Well, it went a bit downhill, really. We were in contention the second test, and there's a couple of turning points in the game. You know, we've talked about it a lot. Richard Hill getting taken out, who was, phenomenal on that tour. And this day and age, it would have been a red card all day long and possibly a ban. I think it was the boy Gray in the centre who shoulder checked him or elbowed him or whatever it was, and took him out because Richard Hill was just causing so many problems. We had a thorn in the side of the Australians, and as soon as he went off, the game changed, the dynamics sort of changed a little bit. But as well as that, we played into the Australians' hands, really, instead of playing a bit more field position and grinding them down. we started to get a bit too loose, and yeah, you know, and as well as that, we run out of juice. Really, our energy levels were depleting. It was at the end of the tour. We'd had a long old season, a couple of injuries picking up and stuff, and you know, all of a sudden, you know, we're thinking, oh, we've got that element of self-doubt, which we never had initially. So there's that kicked in, and you know, it was a couple of other off the field sort of incidents which compounded it and lifted the Aussies and brought us down a little bit. And you know, all of a sudden we were foregone favourites really, to losing the Test series. You know, we blew it.
What's the so it's 1-1, and then you're going into that final Test, which, as you say, everybody felt perhaps a little bit overcooked. Give me a sense of the feeling in the dressing room after that third Test, that deciding Test.
It was flat, really, totally flat, and like a team that are just full of individuals in the end, then really, rather than a collective. Yeah, it was quite a weird environment. That was. It was, you know, right, we're going home, I'm staying on, I'm going over here, I'm going to the Great Barrier Reef, and it was, you know, rather than what it should have been, you know, all together, let's enjoy it, let's savor this moment, because none, you know, we're never ever gonna have the same group of players collected again in this sort of environment, and yeah, it just fell apart really, and it was quite sad really, because it was a sad ending to what was a fantastic trip, and it was a fantastic trip, and it would have been better obviously if we'd won, but yeah, it's never a good atmosphere in a change room, because you know everybody wants a win. That's what we're there for, you know, and yeah, it's different.
There was some fun moments too, of course, and you know, I have it on very good authority that you were voted best looking Lion of the 2001 tour. I
don't know about that.
It was in GQ magazine, mate. Trust me. And in actual fact, you were so good looking that you managed to attract another species.
Yes.
Namely Sam the Snake. What was that all about?
Well, it was one of them down days where you go, right, okay, we've done our training. Yeah, we're going to have a team building sort of thing. You know, do you want to go clay pigeon shooting? Do you want to go, I don't know, to the beach, whatever? Or do you want to go to Steve Irwin's freaking zoo? And, yeah, go on, let's go to the zoo, innit? We'll have a look at a couple of koalas, kangaroos, all this sort of malarkey. And it was like, all right, okay. So it was only 4 of us that said, oh, we'll go to the zoo. And it was Steve Irwin, who was, you know, anybody who's a keen sort of, you know, animal lover would know Steve Irwin, really. You know, he was incredible, bless him. But man's a box of frogs. But it was Scott Cornell, Rob Howley, Brian O'Driscoll, and myself. And it was like, all right, yeah, we'll go there. And it was like, oh, so we're walking around the zoo and all this sort of stuff, and the koalas, yeah, the lovely little furry things, and you know, having a photo with that and whatever.
Apparently, like the majority of koalas have got chlamydia. Did you know that?
Well, I didn't go that close to them. Is it really? Anyway,
apparently the majority of koalas have got chlamydia.
That's an interesting topic we can talk about again. But no, anyway, so. Then they said, oh, look at this now. And it was this bloody big, huge anaconda or python, whatever it was. I don't know what the difference is really, but it was freaking huge. And it was 55 feet. I remember this. 55 feet long this thing was, right? And it was in there, and they feed it dead goats and all sorts of things, right? And it was like, yeah, what's it do? It just lies there. It's just this big, huge thing. And it was in, like, obviously behind a glass sort of window. And it was like, Jesus. Yeah, we're going to go and see a smaller one. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have a photo with it. I was like, all right, okay. So all of a sudden, we're there, and they pull out this freaking huge thing. I don't know, it was about 200 kilos. It was freaking heavy, right? And I don't know, it was a lot smaller than the one in the bloody, in behind the glass screen. And they said, oh, yeah, go on then. Yeah, we'll hold it and we'll have a photo. Oh, it look nice. Yeah, so we'd all try to hold it like that first. No, put it on your shoulders. It's easier. And I was like, well, fuck, who's going for the head? Who's going for the head? I was like, and they're pushing me forward, like that. They all with the tail and going up there. And it's like, oh, freaking heck. So I'm there, landing by the head, and it's like, and it's there, and I'm going, oh, frick, I don't really like snakes, but there we are, okay. I was like, and all of a sudden, as I'm doing it, then they're pissing themselves laughing because the thing starts constricting, and it's going around my neck, and I'm going, freaking heck, it's closing in, yeah? What's going on? And then they were just wetting themselves laughing, really. It was like, freaking heck, and yeah, that was. They seemed to enjoy it. I didn't. Jeez. Yeah. So anyway, that was that one. Yeah.
Brilliant. In the next episode, we're going to talk about some of the off-field stuff that may have perhaps affected it. We're not going to get into too much detail because none of us want a lawsuit, but it was part of the tour that we need to just quickly touch on. And I guess also it's very pertinent to the book, to offloading and the trials and tribulations that you've been through in recent years with mental health, and I think all of those things sort of tying together. So we'll dig into that just a little bit for everyone who's tuned in. But for now, David, good to see you, mate. See you soon.
Take care. Cheers.